I'm going to give you 5 design tips. First one is stick to one message per slide. So they wanted it to look like this. And I said, that is 2 messages. That's facts and that's exterior. You have to decide on one of them. Okay, they go, I'll go for exterior. And why should we only have one message per slide? Well, for instance, have you ever sat down at home? You brewed a nice cup of tea. You're enjoying a good book. You're flicking. You're reading. Suddenly, you come to the conclusion that you have got no idea what you've read for the last 2-3 pages. Has that happened to you? Yeah, you're like, what the? Gee, I'll go back. Yeah, do that again. The reason for that is that you can only have one mental thought at a time. So if you've got more than 2 messages, the risk is big that they do not know which one to focus on and they'll forget both. So we went down to one message per slide. And I said we've got a big problem, and that comes down to working memory, which is the second of 5 tips. We've already spoken about how bad the working memory is in regards to the train. But this is a true crotch kick to the entire PowerPoint foundation. Let's have a look at this, what we know about the brain. If you talk at the same time as you have sentences in your PowerPoint that can be read by other people, what will be remembered by them looking at your PowerPoint is 0. Nothing. For 25 years, we've been doing this. Considering this is your working memory. Your working memory can't handle too much information. And when there's too much information, like speaking and reading at the same time, it goes, and it picks up again. And it goes, yeah, just reading, I can do that. Oh, cool, don't talk to me while I'm reading. You go, and you just forget it all. So the effect is 0, and that is the absolute biggest problem in PowerPoint, that you have readable text and talking at the same time. So it can't look like this. I can't stand here and talk while that's up. So what are my options? Well, my first option is this. Hello, hello, please read this text. That's a nice presentation, isn't it? The better option is this one. Put the text down into the notes field in PowerPoint. And then pick out the keywords from the text. Then your brain can focus on it. The brain can focus on listening to someone speaking and reading just words at the same time. It can handle that. It's sentences which are the problem. However, we've got a major problem still, and that is objects. Number 3 of 5. And to show this, I'm going to throw up a bunch of balls on each screen. And I want you to count them, and I want you to nod to me when you've counted them. So quite a simple test again. Here we go. Okay, keep on nodding. We're around 2 to 3 seconds. I'll give you another bunch of balls. I want you to nod again when you've counted them. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Around 1.5 seconds. We'll do it once more. New set of balls coming here. 1, 2, 3. There's something strange there, because the absolute majority of you nodded as I flicked the button. Why did that happen? Well, it's because you've got something called a perceptive limit in your brains. And the limit is 6. The limit is 6 objects. Anyone in here that is good at maths? Seeing 6 objects or less takes 2/100ths of a second. 2/100ths of a second. That's how fast you nodded the last time. 6 or more objects, 7, 8, 9, 10 objects, will take you 1.5 seconds. The percentage difference is around 800%. So every time you put on a slide in the future with more than 6 objects on it, you have to be aware that it will take the audience 800% more cognitive load to understand what's on it. And our brain is energy saving by nature. What do you think it does? Will it go, I'll easily put 800% more energy into this, or, I won't do it? Which one do you think it goes for? Quite likely this one. For about 5 minutes, we can focus on putting in 800% more. But then suddenly we go, like, oh, I can't do it anymore. I just got to think about other things. And just look at this. That is too many objects. I'm going to reduce them now to make you feel the difference. Have a look at that. Constantly look at the screen, and then reduced. Do you feel the difference in your brain? You can't really describe the sensation, but it's different. Here, your brain goes like, whoa, and here it goes, whoa, and then some people, they think that this is okay. Copyright, no cooperation, version 2.1, page 12 of 95. Oh, that's suicidal, that is. You're like, oh, 83 left. And the question is, do they matter? Well, look again, stare at the screen. We'll go from this to this to this. And you can feel the sensation in the brain that it just becomes so much easier to focus on. And I would advise you, have you seen this film Rain Man by Dustin Hoffman? Yeah. He just looks down, and I think it's toothpicks or something, and this is 263. In a split second, he goes like 263. He can go like this. Yeah, well, the count is 631 people in here. Amazing cognitive abilities. But my friends, the amount of Rain Mans that you have employed in your company are few. Fourth of 5, images. Are images good? Well, they're pretty good. For instance, if I ask you, remember that word, and I'll call you all up in 4 or 5 weeks and I'll ask you, what was the word? The sad news is that 8% of you would remember that particular word. So I thought there's got to be a better way. I'll show you a black and white image, symbolic for friendship. And I'll ask you in 4 or 5 weeks, what was the image? 65% of you in here would be able to go back and say what that image means. Is that good? That's better. Can we go better? Yeah, if we show it in color. Your brain is now firing off like a firework, going making new connections. And 85% of you will remember this in 5 weeks. So next time you build a slide and you go like, God, I wish they would remember what I'm going to say here. Well, just take a look at the difference in retention. Build it entirely in text. Chances are really slim that they'll remember it. And images like this, for God's sake, do not use them. This is embarrassing. Do you see this guy? He's going like, God, I'm pissed off on my computer. It is going out my window this second. Can you feel that? No. But this guy, we got some empathy with. So in order to achieve those 65 or 85%, the image has to be emotional. You can't use illustrated character cartoons. So they decided to put in an image of a car, and I was happy. We now come to the last one, and that's number 5, an animation. And I preferably, I'm a real hater of animations, especially these that go from left and right and whatever they do. It's just, I really takes the edge of it. But I want to take you through animation and just tell you what my advice would be. And that is, this is a lot clearer if I animate it. Because if I do this, I can take you through each and every bit of the presentation one step at a time. My recommendation to you is to use the animation called appear, only appear, not the flying in. Well, not if you work at SAS or at British Airways, you can have the flying in thing. And you can actually have the swirling, bouncing, exploding, zooming animation if you work as a volcano scientist or something like that. You are allowed to use them. But if you're not, use appear.